And we are back here for episode 29, covering some hot topics for this week. The fall of one of America's great companies, Intel. We'll talk a little bit about that. Diving into sweat detection monitor. We're talking about something like that. And then maybe if we have time, of course, the big thing on Monday is Apple's iPhone 16 announcement. That's what we got this week.
All right, episode 29. Getting to the magic 30.
Chugging along.
Wish I was still 30, but I'm not.
So do I. Those are magical times. That is
Well,
the ideal time is like the early 30s,
yeah,
your power years.
I agree. But last week was a hard week in the market. I think started off very bad and then ended it off even worse.
Yes.
Most of that was driven, I believe, from some of the economic data that came through, mostly around jobs again.
Yep.
People don't know what to make of the data and whether the Fed's gonna drop rates by 25 basis points or drop rates by 50 basis points.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everyone has their heads on fire, scrambling to do something with their money.
Yeah. It was like it's either it would have been like so good. It was kind of like a wishy-washy in between type report. And so that's why nobody knew what to do. It almost would have been better if it just came out like super bad.
Yeah. It's crazy though how all of it's controlled by these, algorithmic, hot sells, hot buys based on news triggers, because that's what usually happens, which then causes money to move based on, like covering shorts or whatnot. It's unfortunate that as retail investors, we just have to watch it and react. But that's why you should always have a long-term investment mindset.
We should come up with a trading bot. Actually, I say that, but like everybody and their grandmother is making an AI
Yeah,
trading bot, according to TikTok.
I read
It's
this
like
per
another
chance.
one.
I don't know how much I trust the trading bots. I mean, I think they always like talk about how good they do, but I don't know.
I
I
mean,
think I think for me, what's been most beneficial is like focusing on like a few stocks and just watching them for like years
mhm,
and just understanding how they move.
yeah. You gotta have your go-to stocks, right? That you just know, like, oh, this is what it's gonna do.
Yeah.
I agree.
And then have patience.
And patience.
No 0-day options, Tony.
I really gotta stop. That's like gotta go on my like list of things not to do. I can't help myself.
Related to this drop, Intel has also dropped again, or has dropped since, its peak. And I think we were talking about in a previous episode, kind of Intel is a nostalgia company for us because in our, high school, college days, they were kind of the big honcho. They had those awesome commercials with the shiny sterile suits and the Intel workers dancing around and doing things, and they were kind of the leader in computer chips. But that's when computer chips were, when computers are going mainstream. Now everything is about graphical chips much that can process a lot more at the same time, and that's needed for AI. So Intel is kind of falling behind there. But the latest on Intel to keep you up to speed is one, they're considering dividing into two divisions. One is a chip making division, which is what they do well. If you don't know, Intel designs and makes their own chips. But the reason why NVIDIA has an edge over them today is because NVIDIA only designs chips and they outsource the chip making to other companies like Taiwan Semiconductor. So basically, their profit margin on every chip is exponentially higher than Intel's profit margin because Intel has to also pay to make the chip. And they do it mostly here in the US, and so it's expensive. But Intel is considering dividing into a chip making division so they can make chips for themselves, but also anyone else. However, they probably wouldn't do that because they are also the second division that they want to divide into is the chip designing division. So they think that if they can do this, then they can actually start to improve their business fundamentals better and
Yeah.
get back to making money. But along with this, because Intel's market cap has dropped so much, there's a bunch of rumors coming out around companies who may potentially just buy them out. And one of those recently is Qualcomm. Qualcomm is the another chip maker, and there's been speculation that they may want to buy some of Intel's assets.
Yep.
So that's the Intel news as of late, and it's something that we've been watching just because of all the chip hype and importance as well of
Yeah.
chips.
Their strategy is a bit it's strange in the sense that if you think about the companies that would want Intel to make chips are really the competitors.
Yeah.
And so that's why it makes it a challenging strategy, right? Is because they're gonna be asking their competitors, if you think like AMD or NVIDIA at some point, to produce with them, but they'd also be designing chips against them, right? And so that's one where it's like a lot of people are scratching their heads like, "Does this really make sense?" And then Intel would also have the disadvantage to kind of what you're saying, right? Is the capital expenditure they need to maintain those foundries. Yeah, it might
Yeah.
just be they need to basically break apart the company, right? If they really want to pursue that strategy, Qualcomm, could take on the foundry side of it, and Intel would just remain a chip designer, like ARM. I guess it'd be like ARM, right?
We
'Cause ARM only designs chips at this point and just sells it off. But I guess Intel could go the AMD, NVIDIA route too, but at this point, it's like, is it too late?
Yeah, I was gonna ask what do you think they should do, and that answers it. They should just sell off the chip making
Yeah,
side of the business.
yeah,
At that point, though, what would Intel? Because ARM designs mobile chips, right? NVIDIA designs graphic chips.
yep,
So then would Intel continue and only design computer chips?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, well, okay, so, like, there's still a need for just your normal CPUs, right?
Mhm.
And Intel has been working on, like, their all-in-one chips. They've talked about doing graphics chips, so maybe it frees them up to, like, pursue all that, which wouldn't be a bad thing. I mean, the graphics market needs another competitor, right? And maybe they'll be able to become a little more nimble. I think that's what they need to do. When you said the Pentium, I was like, "Oh, yeah." I still remember when the first Pentium was launched, and I was like, it was a big deal. I was like,
Yeah.
"Wow, Doom runs so much faster." I remember my friend, he got a brand new computer that had the first Pentium compared to, like, my 486 DX2, and it was like, "Wow, Doom runs so much faster. This is awesome." But yeah, no, it's kind of unfortunate because it's like it's an actual American
Yeah.
company, right?
Every
That
every early computer had that Intel logo on
Yeah,
it.
Intel Inside,
And
yeah, but it's like, yeah, it is literally it was like it's like it's sad because it's like it's an American company. It's in a area where the future is reliant on it, right? But they've just been managed so poorly that it's like driven into the ground, and not sure if they're gonna be able to recover. I mean, I was looking at the stock price. It's, like, back to where it was in 2012. So, like, any long-term investor in Intel has just been like, "Hope you sold at the top."
yeah.
But yeah, anyways, it's just, like, one of those things that just it'd be there's gotta be a Harvard business case study built off of this. Like, what happened? Maybe looking back, like, IBM went through the same thing, and they've managed to come back, but a little bit easier on the software side, not so much on the hardware side.
Yeah, and I feel like IBM is yeah, IBM's still there, but it's just there. They're just
Chugging along.
monetizing off their patents.
Yeah. Still chugging.
Like, because if you think about this, so, like, ChatGPT, now that you're bringing up IBM, remember their whole IBM's Watson? And I know Watson still
Mhm.
exists,
Yeah.
but Watson was AI,
Mhm.
and it just hasn't I mean, I'm not up to date with what Watson's doing. I know it's powering some things, like,
Yeah.
enterprise-wise, but
Yeah.
it's just there.
Yeah. No, they were at the forefront at the time.
Yeah.
What was it? The chess? Was
Yeah,
playing chess, and it was, like, one of the first things to beat a grandmaster
mhm.
at the time, and that was, like, a huge deal. Um, but actually, IBM is almost at all-time highs again too. So
Wow.
they've turned it around.
All right. Well, Intel's an interesting story, and we're pulling for you, and so we'll just keep up to date what's going on with their business units. Let's move on. Next story: sweat detecting health monitor. I saw this one. I thought it was interesting.
Mhm.
Basically, the engineers at the University of California, San Diego, UCSD, have developed an electronic finger wrap that monitors vital chemical levels from your finger sweat. So this is really interesting. Like I use a Whoop
Gross.
band here. So I use a Whoop and I wear it pretty much 24/7 and it monitors my heart rate, it monitors my vitals, and it monitors my sleep. Also when I work out, it monitors everything going on and so it can tell me how many calories I burned, all that stuff. So
Mhm.
basically, health monitor. I chose the Whoop over the Apple Watch just because it has more functionality and better UI. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because the Whoop also has, and we're not sponsored by Whoop, but if you want to sponsor us, Whoop, let me know. Whoop also has one of their differentiators is they have clothing that you can wear and you can put, because the Whoop is just this like little sensor here,
Mm.
you can put the
Yeah,
sensor in the clothing
interesting.
itself and
Mhm.
it'll continue monitoring, your stuff. So
Hmm.
this was interesting because basically UCSD has developed a technology that makes continuous personalized health monitoring as effortless as wearing a band-aid. So essentially, I think
Mm.
in where they're going with this is you could wear like a piece of paper on your finger and get health monitoring. And so I thought it was interesting because the way it works is it wraps around your fingertip.
Mhm.
I did not know this until I read this article, but your fingertip has a lot of sweat glands. I think more sweat glands in a condensed area than any part of your body.
Mhm.
And so they can produce 100 to 1,000 times more sweat than other areas of your body, even
Mhm.
during rest. So I had
Yeah.
no idea or clue that that was going on with my fingertips. But then this fingertip monitor basically takes trickle sweat from your fingertips
Mhm.
and continuously monitors the levels of your
Hmm.
body from that sweat. So that's pretty cool.
Kinda gross. It makes sense. Man, it's like, okay, I'm never shaking anybody's hand again.
Right. Or when you do, you just have to shake with
Yeah,
open
yeah,
palms.
yeah. I guess that's interesting. It's like I guess one of the image you sent me was like this thing that's kinda sat on your finger. So, I mean, it definitely needs some work. You could probably do that with, like, a ring, though. I mean, it's not your fingertips, but somewhere in your hand, right? Where your
Well,
finger
yeah,
would
that
work.
I mean, they have the Aura ring, right?
Yeah, the Oura Ring. Shout out to Mr. Tom Hale.
Someone you used to work for.
Yeah, so I used to work for. Yeah, I mean, I could see in the ring. Yeah, probably watch would make sense, but the ring, I'm sure there's, like, got sweat down here somewhere, right? That could be something they could incorporate, actually.
Yeah. I think it's interesting to me because just like every technology,
Mhm.
I think one of the fundamental goals for any technology is how do you get it smaller while
Yeah,
also making it run just as well, right?
yeah.
And so wearables or health monitors is
Mhm.
another version of that. Like I wear this Whoop band, and I'd say of all the wearables, this is the most unintrusive,
Uh-huh.
but it still can get sometimes annoying. And with this technology, I just imagine like a little thing the size of a small band-aid, not a normal size band-aid,
Yeah,
to which you could put anywhere, not on your fingertips, right? Maybe on my shoulder. The little highly adhesive, sticky little band-aid that just monitoring everything, and I don't even know it's there.
yeah.
So that's why I'm excited about the technology, but also the fingertips thing was interesting.
I was gonna say, I think the next evolution of health monitors, I was gonna say, like, you should get an implantable one.
Yeah.
Implantable ones are probably like where it's the whatchamacallits, best thing.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's really doing that yet, right?
I okay, so I was looking, I was searching because I think, and only because somebody was on my LinkedIn, Lingo by Abbott Labs.
Hmm,
I actually think it's implantable, or
interesting.
it like sits under the surface of your skin. I believe so. It's an actual biosensor. It's kinda how they've kinda positioned it. It does glucose tracking,
Mm,
and so it
for
needs to
diabetics.
yeah. But I think that's, like, the next evolution, right? Is, like, because you can only get so much on the surface, but, like, implantable ones. Like, what are those pet chips? Does your dog have, like, the pet chip?
Microchip, yeah.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing, right?
Yeah.
Injecting yourself with these chips, sensors, and then you just kinda, like, scan or it's, like,
Well,
powered off the
I
it's
thought where you
powered
were gonna
off.
go is, like, those chips have Wi-Fi and GPSs
Yeah,
and now you can
it's
control.
powered. I mean, that's really if you thought about, like, we were talking about, like, AI and robots, right? It's the exact same thing. It's powered by the heat in your body. It's like unlimited power source. The Matrix. That is where the Matrix is actually not too far off. Like, the human body is like a battery,
Mhm.
petrol battery.
Scary. That's a
I
scary.
know we're growing up. Maybe we should have, like, futurists in the
Well, I
10
mean,
years.
Neuralink, as an example, is already
Oh, yeah.
jumping
Mhm.
a long
Yeah.
bridge to stuff implanting something in your brain. That's crazy. But
Yeah,
that's
so
where
I
we're
think
going.
health monitoring is interesting, right? Not just from, like,
Yeah.
curiosity perspective, but from actually just understanding how you are performing.
Mhm.
Thought about it, right?
Well, but also, like, from a life,
Mhm.
like, medical, I mean, some people
Yeah,
actually need like your example with the glucose.
yeah,
Some people actually have to monitor their health, otherwise they could die.
yeah. Definitely interesting space. Like if I thought about it, like this is what all these like the smartest people in the world should be working on, not trying to figure out how to make people buy more or click on more ads. If you thought about the amount of brain power that's dedicated to companies figuring out how to help you shop
Yeah,
or click ads, if you just shifted all that to like more of these type of things, the world would be like the world would be such a better place, I think.
that's
Anyway,
capitalism, though.
that's my short commentary on tech.
Well, that's
Insane amount of brain power focused on like really irrelevant things if you really boiled it down.
that's a good transition point. Talking about health monitoring to Apple's event is tomorrow, and if you go to their website, there's a hero image there of, like, a translucent apple.
Mhm,
It's colorful,
mhm.
looks like Siri.
Yeah,
It does a little animation, but their tagline right now is, "It's glow time."
yeah,
So, coining off, it's go time, but it's glow
yeah,
time, and I think they teased it at their WC, but the whole, I think, design pattern around Siri now is going to be glowing. So they have the
yeah,
glowing rim that they showed, and then
yeah.
yeah.
I don't think anything exciting. Like I've looked through and see, and I think the most exciting thing people have talked about is like there'll be a pink or a gold colored iPhone. It's like what people are excited about. And so, you know, I think what expected, it'll be AI capable, obviously. I've seen rumors of better camera, not necessarily a better camera, but a more ubiquitous camera, meaning you don't need to buy the highest end, the Pro Max model to get the best camera. It'll be in the Pro model. And then maybe a special camera button, which I'm like, why do you need a special camera button? Makes no sense. That's it. I haven't really seen anything groundbreaking either. So I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna. I totally blanked out what I was gonna say.
You're
Stock
gonna
prediction is I don't know. I want Apple to sell off so much. I'm trying not to revenge trade it at this
yeah.
point because I'm so mad. Anyways,
My
much
prediction
ado about nothing, I think.
yeah. My prediction is, 1, I think 80% of it will be demoing the new Siri. So 80% of it will be weaving in Siri AI use cases into the different areas of Apple's hardware ecosystem. I think that's
Yeah.
going to be the main focus.
Yeah.
Mm, I think too, this is the Watch 10, and there's been speculation that this is supposed to be a big update because it's the 10th watch, and usually
Yeah.
Apple likes to commemorate those things, like the iPhone 10, for example.
Yeah.
Big change. So
Yeah.
I think a prediction is they're going to actually have a pretty phenomenal, not phenomenal, but big update to the watch that's
Mhm.
different.
Yeah.
But I've been saying I've been wanting a better watch update for the last like 5 years here, and every time I'm let down. However, this is the 10th one, so I think that will be, I think 20%. So what did I say? No, I said 70%. So I'll say 70% will be AI and
Yeah.
Siri.
Yeah.
20% will be around this new watch,
Yeah.
and 10% they need to what's the word I'm looking for? They need to do something about their Apple Vision narrative. And so I think 10% would be focused on Apple Vision and trying to again like resell the Apple Vision Pro,
Think so?
but maybe more so around like a different Apple Vision, or maybe a cheaper one.
Mm.
I don't know. That's my thought. And so
Yeah.
three main topics to walk away with from Apple, I think, will be AI, Siri, Watch, and Vision.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
Got it.
And
I don't think
I also predict the stock will drop.
yeah. I mostly agree. I think their focus will have to be on the iPhone and the AI components because that's just what Wall Street is talking about and what's the expectation. So I think the emphasis will be on that. Apple Watch, yeah, they have to do something for the 10, right? Just because they have to. So whether we'll see better design, a new sensor. I think I've seen something about them introducing a new sensor into the Apple Watch, which will be interesting. More sleep monitoring oriented, apparently. AirPods, you didn't mention AirPods, or they might do something with the AirPods. I don't think they will talk about the Apple Vision or Apple Vision across the board.
Yeah.
I think it's not in a great spot, and they probably don't want to detract from the iPhone. And again, they need to focus on the AI part of it, right? Because it's what everybody's banking on.
All right. Exciting.
We'll see.
I'll be watching live. I don't think I think my Monday is pretty free, so I'll be watching live. Think
I
your
might
Monday
be
is pretty free
booked.
too, right?
My Monday is pretty free at this point too. So yeah, I'm gonna put it open.
Should we do a live stream? Oh, we're not
Like a
done there
like the
yet.
NVIDIA watch party. It's like saying, "This is crazy, man. What is the stock market turning into?"
Yeah. Okay. Well, everyone's excited for Apple's event tomorrow, and we'll see what they come up with. But this should be a phone that I'm getting since I'm due for an upgrade, and I need to have the Apple Intelligence version of the phone.
Yeah, I'm only buying one if my puts pay off. So
Good. That's a good plan.
yeah, I'll be stuck with mine for a couple.
All right. Well, next week we're back for episode 30, and
Round number.
round number. That's all is a milestone. Well, thank you everyone for listening. Please subscribe, follow us, and if you prefer just listening, we're also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime. So please shoot us a like and let us know what you want to hear more of. See you next week, Tony.
Yeah.